सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयम् यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। मनोबुद्धीन्द्रियाणां च ह्यवस्थाः कर्मचोदिताः चैतन्येनैव भास्यन्ते रविणेव घटादयः। एवं अवस्थात्रयं तदवस्थं च आत्मानं द्रष्टु दृश्यभावेन विविच्य. This manner, in last verses, the teacher vivichya, prasakritya, separated or showed drashtru drishya bhavena. How the avasthatrayam tat avastham, avasthatrayam, the waking, dream and the deep sleep, tad avastham, obtaining in that avastha, which is the Vishwa, Tejasa, Prajna, Drishya Bhavena, that the avastha as well as the avastham, padavastham, the three states as well as the Atma obtaining in these three states, all of them are Drishya, category of Drishya or something that is known, that is the object of awareness. I am aware of the waking state, waking experiences, as well as the fact that I am a waker. Similarly, I am aware of the dream world, dream objects, dream state, and the dreamer. And so also the deep sleeper also I am aware of when I wake up at least. So that way the three states, which are really the states of the buddhi of the mind, and the self that obtains in each one of the states as identified with that state. And therefore, so that's how drashta, drushya, arranged sarat obtains in waking, dream and deep sleep states. So this is first shown, how in every state there is drashta, there is drushya. The waking state, drushya is the gross objects, which are perceived by the sense organs. And drashta is called the waker, the Vishwa, identified with the sense organs of perception. and of course the mind and intellect. The dream state, and then he said how the location of this waker is in the right eye, because that is where preferentially, I guess, most of the functions take place, basically in sense organs. Waking state, the place of function of the waker is the sense organs. Manasetu grihe vyaktaha. Tejasa, the dreamer, is said to be in the mind, and the dream state is utilized by the scriptures. By the way, to show also that Atma is Swam Jyoti, because it's only Jyoti or only light that is available in the Atma when conventional luminaries are not there. So by the way, it says Swam Jyoti Prakashita or Prakashita. Basically, what it is that what is relevant here is that the Atma has its place in the mind. He is called Tejasa, he is called the illumined one, because made up of the and illumining, and also himself made up of the vasanas, and there is no tangible objects which can be called jada. And third state was prag, the deep sleep state. Vishayaha vasana vapi no chodyante naiva karmavihi. So waking state also is described as the result of karma. So karma responsible for giving rise to the experience of waking state that results into the mind doing what it does. When those karmas are over and the karmas for the experience of dream state arise, then the mind functions the way it does and then withdraws from the sense organs, creates its own world and experiences the projected world. When those karmas are over and the karma responsible for giving rise the experience of the deep sleep state, when they become active, then mind goes into the unmanifest state, and that's the state, deep sleep. In each case, Atma is identified with the gross body, is called the Vishwa, subtle body called the Ijasa, causal body called the Prajna. So, Mano Buddhi Indriyanam avasthaha karma choditaha. So, Titikakar said that Indriyanam avastha is the waking, Manasa avastha is the dream, Buddhi avastha is the deep sleep. Chaitanye nai bhasyante havena eva ghatadaya. But all these states are with various experiences. What is common to all of them is that all of these, the state as well as the experience of the state, both of them are illumined by Chaitanya, naiva bhasyante. And that is why it was pointed out how the dream experience helps us understand the Swam Jyotishvam, that Atma is Swam Jyoti, self-effulgent. So that alone shines and everything shines in the light of Atma. Just as Ghatadaya, Ravina, Bhasyante, just as Ghatapata is illumined by the light of the sun. Continuing verse 27 now, Nanu, Yadi Atma Nirvikareva Sakshi. When you say Atma is Sakshi, and Nirvikara because Sakshi is present in the waking, dream, deep sleep. And therefore it illumines all of these vikaras of the mind, the three states, without himself undergoing any vikara. Because Nirvikara alone can illumine vikaras. The Atma Nirvikareva Sakshi. Atma is Sakshi all right, but what kind of Sakshi? Nirvikara Sakshi, the changeless witness. Kasam tari buddhyadinam karta uchyate. Then how is said to be karta? How does he become the doer, the seer, hearer, thinker? Why is he thought to be like that by people? So that is now creating background for the various opinions obtaining about the nature of Atma. To show how those opinions that the various Vadis or the aspirants or thinkers have, they are not in keeping with what the Shruti reveals, nor are they in keeping with the what reasoning also reveals. And so, now that's why the question is asked, why people think differently about the Atma, when Atma is Nirvikara Sakshi. So next verse is Tatraevam Sati. Tatraevam Sati Buddhirjnah Atma Bhasavabhasayan Karta Tasam Yadarthastaha Mudhaireva Vidhiyate. Tatra evam sati, that when the Atma obtains all the three states, Gnya Atmabhasa Buddhi Avabhasayan. Gnya, the conscious being, Buddhi, it is the second case, dual, plural. So Buddhi is the, so understand that that is the karma vibhakti. And so Buddhi is the karma or the object of illumination. Buddhi. Why Buddhi? I guess waking Buddhi, dream Buddhi, deep sleep Buddhi, all the different states of Buddhi. Avabhasayan, illuminating them. Who? Gnya. So Gnya is subject. Avabhasan, illuminates Buddhi is the object. And what's the nimitta, what's the karanam? Atma bhasa avabhasayan. So by Atma bhasa, that's the karanam. Buddhi, that's the karma. Gnya, that is karta. So thus the Gnya, the knower, illuminates the various states of the Buddhi by his own light. Atma bhasa. Now what is the role of this Buddhi? Yadarthaha, that also is the plural of the second case, Yadarthaha Buddhihi. So Yadarthaha, the Visheshana of Buddhi. So Yadarthaha, Atmarthaha, Buddhi is meant for Atma. Meaning Buddhis are meant to serve the purpose of Atma. It is because of Buddhi that Atma is able to do the vyavahar or conduct himself in this world. And so that's how the Buddhi enables Atma to gain various experiences and also assume various roles like karta, bhokta, etc. and gain various experiences, sukha, dukkha, depending on the karma. So that is the role of Buddhi. But then, what belongs to Buddhi is, however, thought to belong to Atma, and therefore the different disputants come to different conclusions about Atma. This is the idea here. So the verse 27 Tika says, Tatra. Tatra evam sati. There, that being the case, there means what? Tasmin Atmane. Seventh case that, so in that Atma, evam sati. This being the case, what's the case? Avasthatre adhyaste sati. The waking, dream, deep sleep, or the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper are the notions superimposed upon the Atma. Because it is said that the tat avasthatrayam tad avastham cha. That avasthatraya also is limited by Atma, tad avastham, and the subjects that are obtaining the experiencers. In the three states, the objects of experience are illumined by Atma, and the experiencer also is illumined by the Atma. The Atma is the Nirvikara Sakshi. So then, who is this waker? Dreamer, deep sleeper. These are the roles the Atma plays, meaning that these three are adhyasa, superimposition on Atma, on account of identification with the gross body. Idea of waker is superimposed upon the Atma, upon the Nirvikara Sakshi. On account of the identification of subtle body, the idea of a dreamer is superimposed upon the Atma, who is Nirvikara Sakshi. Again, in account of illumining the experience of deep sleep and the deep sleeper, the idea of the sleeper or the prajna is superimposed. So therefore, avasthatre adhyaste sari, basically what is superimposed on Atma is the avastha. The idea of the Vishwa, Tejasa, Prajna, they are superimposed upon Atma. And the experiences are all nothing but the creation of the mind. So, Savastha Buddhi, Atma Bhasa, Avabhasayan. So that is how the Atma becomes Avabhasaka, by the way. Atma illumines also, but still, Thavastha Buddhi, the mind, along with the avastha, waking, dream, deep sleep, Atmavasa, Avabhasa and Gnya. Gnya means Atma. Atmavasa, Swachaitanya, Avasa and Avabhasan. So these three states, as well as experiencer in these three states, are illumined by the Atma by his own inherent light. So you call it Atma Avabhasaka. But as far as Atma is concerned, all that Atma it is, as we will explain. Atma does not illumine, really speaking, meaning there is no kartrutvam, no sense of illuminator. The Atma shines and things get illuminated. And still is called illuminator. Saubhasayan. Atma tasam kartayati mudai abhidiyate. Therefore, Atma is the karta of the illumination. He is illuminator. He is creator. So this is what mudai. People who are not educated. Here, Shastracharyopadesharahitahi. The point is that every human being is muda, is a deluded person. So by birth, everybody has already these false notions or conclusions about oneself. This is given. So because of ignorance, self-ignorance with which every human being is born, the moha, the delusion of viparita buddhi is already existing. And therefore everybody has his or her own perception of what he or she is and what the world is. This perception is already existing. Meaning we already have opinions about who I am and what the world is and what I am experiencing. And one will not question this unless Shastracharyopadesha is there. Only when I get exposed to the teaching, and I am fortunate enough to get a competent teacher, then alone that teacher can make me see what the truth is about myself, about the world. If one does not have the benefit of Shastra, Acharya, Upadesha, Rahitahi, those who are devoid of the benefit of the Upadesha of Shastra and Acharya, then they will retain their notion that they are born with, or the conclusion they are likely to make with the kind of intellect, deluded intellect that they have. Therefore, kartayati mudahi vipadishyate. Atma is called karta, drashta, or karta, bhokta. Different ideas will be there. Tatha vyavahar pravutto nimittam suchan. What causes this kind of notions or false conclusions for all these vadis? There is a reason. Nimittam suchan. The teacher shows what is the nimitta, what is the cause because of which this kind of notions arise. Buddhi vishinasti. These buddhis are, the mind is the reason why this kind of notions are entertained. Yadartha. So buddhi is created, is given. For Atma, so says, tatha vyavahara pravutto. So tatha vyavahara pravutto. Why Atma is doing, Atma is acting as a karta. Vyavahara pravutto, so Atma does become pravutta. Thus party acts or is part of this whole vyavahara and assumes the karta bhokta roles. Because buddhi, which is meant for enabling Atma to perform the roles, therefore Atma performs the roles, and the roles are taken to be the swarupa of the performer of the role. That's all it is. Yadatha. Yasya atmana sukha dukkha pratibhasarthaha taha bhasyan. Yasya atmana sukha dukkha pratibhasa. That Atma is supposed to experience sukha dukkha as a result of karma, and buddhi facilitates all that experiencing. So buddhi facilitates Atma to assume the role of karta or bhokta. Buddhi facilitates creation of the objects of the kartrutva, bhoktrutva, and thus whole vyavahara is made possible. So buddhi divides itself into subject and object. The drashtu, drashya, this division obtains in buddhi. So buddhi facilitates the whole vyavahara of drashta, drashya. That is how the samsara is, and that way buddhi serves the purpose of Atma by enabling Atma to perform this vyavahara of drashta, drashya. So taha bhasyan iti karmodbhasita buddhi avastha anugata chadavas avivekad. So Atma illumines all the states of buddhi. Taha avhasan buddhi, which avasthas of buddhi, the waking, dream, deep sleep. And within that all the changing avasthas of buddhi. How does Atma illumine them? By being reflected in buddhi. So when buddhi is there, it is the nature of buddhi to reflect Atma, that reflects the chidavasa, that chidavasa, or call it reflected, if you want to translate that, that makes the buddhi enlivened, and thus buddhi performs all the function. Karmodbhasita buddhi avastha. With that avastha of the buddhi is waking, dream, deep sleep, which is brought about by karma. In each avastha, anugata chidabhasa. So just as whatever be the nature of the reflecting medium, the water in a bucket, how the sun follows that, meaning sun appears to be influenced by the reflecting medium. So also chidabhasa, the reflection of Atma, Jnana in the conscious, in the buddhi. So whatever the shape the buddhi takes, the reflection illumines that. So buddhi avastha anugata chidabhasa. Chidabhasa, the reflection, anugata, follows the avastha, the states of buddhi. If buddhi is disturbed, then that is also disturbed. Buddhi is calm, that is also calm. Sattva, rajas, tamas, whatever is the state of buddhi, that's how the chidabhasa, the reflection, the ego also will appear. Avivekat. So you need a teacher to point out that two entities are involved here. That when there is experience of kartrutva, bhoktrutva, is not one entity, two entities are involved. One is Atma, the self, that is nirvikara sakshi. Other is the buddhi that takes all the different forms. and Atma reflects in those. Therefore, there is a natural tendency to superimpose and therefore think that Atma is Karta Bhokta. All of this, so if we do not separate the Chidabhasa from the reflecting medium, the reflection, if it is not separated from the reflecting medium, then whatever happens to reflecting medium is automatically thought to happen to the reflection. So when the water is restless, we think that the reflection is restless. Water is dirty, we think reflection is dull. So that aviveka is not there then. These various attributes of reflecting medium are habitually superimposed upon the reflection, and then we draw conclusion about the reflection. So that is where the separation is required. That no, the dullness belongs to the water, the restlessness belongs to the water, the smallness belongs to the water, the manyness belongs to the water. This has to be told to us. So Shastra Acharya will help us to understand these things. Otherwise, avivekat, by not being able to separate the Chidabhasa reflection from the medium, so what belongs to the medium, buddhi, what belongs to chit, not being able to separate them. Atma darshana karta yuchyate. Atma darshana karta means drashta. Atma is thought to be drashta and not a sakshi. So that is how drashta is darshana karta, the one that performs a role, or not role but who is seer. Sakshi is the nirvikara sakshi, or the witness. Therefore, nirvikara sakshi is taken to be drashta, because drashtutvam belongs to buddhi, and superimposition buddhi upon the atma, that was taken to be drashta. That's how you experience. Atma is never experienced as sakshi. Atma is experienced as drashta, shrota, manta, vijnata, and so it is natural that people take the atma to what it is that is experienced, not realizing that. In that experience of drashta, shrota, manta, two things are experienced. One is that drashta, shrota, manta belongs to buddhi. And atma simply is illuminator of those states of buddhi. That's how the setup is. But not recognizing the two entities are involved, both of them are lumped together. And the one who is therefore in reality just the changeless witness is taken to be the karta bhokta. So this is what is happening. Evam ajnane tat karye cha pratibimbitasya chidatmanah jnatrutvam upadhinibandhan vyutpadya. This manner, chidatmana jnatrutvam. Chidatma, the consciousness, again, changeless consciousness that Atma is. Jnatrutvam, that Atma is thought to be a jnata or a knower. Upadhinibandhanam, because knowerness belongs to the costume of buddhi. And that knowerness belongs to buddhi is superimposed upon Atma, and the actor is taken to be a beggar or a king. Similarly, Atma is taken to be a knower. Who the Chidatma, who is the reflector Chidabhasa. So this is at the individual level. This is called the Ajnanam, or the ignorance playing at the individual level. Same ignorance playing at the cosmic level is called Maya. And so Atma reflecting in Maya. And they have identified the Maya. Sarvajñatvam, Sarvakartrutvam. Then Atma is called Sarvajña, all knowing, Sarvakarta, all creating. So understand the difference between Ajnanam and Maya. Vedanta explains that avidya is the malina sattva pradhana, meaning that Sattva is malinam, is overpowered by rajas and tamas. Therefore, avidya is binding. And therefore, because of the impact of ignorance, the self feels bound, limited. At the cosmic level, so because avidya results into identification with one entity, one upadhi. And therefore, the limitations of upadhi are taken to be limitations of oneself. That's what avidya does. What is cosmic avidya? Called maya, where there is identification with all the upadhis. Understand? So maya is free from the idea of individuality. Therefore, maya is described as Vishuddha Sattva Pradhana Maya. So identification is not there, and therefore there is no bondage at the level of maya. So therefore, Atma identified the maya is called Ishvara. There is no bondage in Ishvara. Then all the maya, because predominant in Sattva, therefore Sarvajñatvam all belongs to maya. And Atma identified maya is called Sarvajña, Sarvakarta, etc. The same maya upadhi pratibimvashaditi vitpadayati. Same Atma. Maya upadhi vashad, because upadhi of maya. Sarvajñatvam, Sarvakartritvam is called this all-knowing, all-creator. So that is what is now explained in the next verse. Sarvajñopyata eva syad svena bhasavabhasayan sarvam sarvakriya hetoho sarvakritvam tathatmanah. Sarvajñopi ata eva syad. For the very reason he is also called Sarvajña. Svena bhasa avhasayam sarvam. When Atma illumines everything by his own bhasa, is called Sarvajña. Sarvakriya hetoho. Then Atma becomes hetu of all the kriya, is called Sarvakrit, or the Sarvakarta. Sarvakritvam is the state of being Sarvakrit. Sarvam karoti, it is Sarvakrit. So, the designation of a Sarvakrit Atma gets because of doing everything. Designation of Sarvajña Atma gets because of illumining everything. So, Tika says, Atha eva iti uktam vishadayati sarvajñopi atah eva. So, for this reason itself, iti uktam. So, what is said is vishadayati, svena iti. So, svena bhasa avhasa, it was already stated. So, since he illumines everything by his own light of consciousness, which is his nature, therefore this happens. So therefore, which was stated in the earlier verse, again is clarified here in this verse, svena bhasa avhasayan is anuvada. So, svatmashra vishayaka maya vivatam sarvam svachaitanyena aditya prakashavat svena bhasa avhasayan. So earlier it says Ravina eva ghatadaya, just as sun illumines ghatadaya, etc. So also the Atma by his own light of consciousness illumines everything. So how does he illumine? Swatma ashraya vishayaka maya vivardam. What is sarvam? All this that Atma illumines, what is that? Vivartam, projected by maya. So by avidya there is projection, which is called jiva srushti. Ahankara, mamakara, raga, dvesha, all these are the creations of the jivatma because of avidya. Whereas the whole universe is the creation of Maya, so because of the cosmic Maya or cosmic, there is an element of Ajnanam in Maya also. A very subtle element of ignorance in Maya. Because there also sense of Ahambhava is there, although cosmic Ahambhava, which is not a binding, but it's there nevertheless. So one having the idea of that I'm cosmic Ahankara, even that amount of identification deprives him of the state that I am totally free. So therefore, in the Sankhya process of creation, then there is the Pradhanam Prakriti, and then Mahatattva, the cosmic Buddhi, Ahankara, cosmic Ahankara. So, because of the identification of the cosmic Buddhi, there is cosmic Ahankara. So that also represents bondage, samsara. So Hiranyagarbha, who enjoys the cosmic Ahankara, because of the simultaneous identification of the cosmic Upadhi, all Upadhis, he is still that much away from Brahman. So therefore he is still samsari. If he takes himself to be Karta, cosmic Karta, we can compare this with the Anandamaya Kosha, where there is only Ananda, and still there is this notion that I am the experiencer of the Bhoktrutva does not go, very slight Bhoktrutva is there. So distance that Anandamaya has from Atma is very minimum, but it is there. And so, except that Ishvara is Brahman, therefore knows his true nature, and therefore only acts as Ishvara or I. That's why there is no ignorance there. But Ishvara is aware of his identity while playing the role. This poor Jiva Atma is not aware of the identity while playing the role. That was Sarvam Maya. What is Maya? Svatma Shreya Vishaya. So what is the locus of Maya? Atma is the locus of Maya. And then what is that Atma eliminates Maya? So Maya is both has the locus in Atma as well as the Vishaya of the Atma. Standard explanation that Swashraya Swavishaya. If you ask what is the location of ignorance or Maya, we will have to say that Atma is the locus. And what does Atma illumine? Ignorance or Maya. Therefore, Atma is the Ashraya, the locus, Vishaya, the object of illumination. Vivatam, projected by Maya, is Sarvam. So, it is nature of Atma to shine and illumine whatever it is. So Atma also illumines Sarvam. The whole universe, all Upadhis, which are the projections by Maya. Atma illumines individual Upadhi because it's shining, and similarly also illumines the cosmic Upadhi. Aditya Prakashvat, like the sun, illumines the whole universe. Avikritena bhasayan sarvajna uchyate. Important thing is that when the sun illumines the universe, sun undergoes no change, so also Atma undergoes no change by illuminating the universe created by Maya. And therefore, as the illuminator of the entire universe, he is called Karta, the illuminator. That is called Sarvajna. So Sarvam Janati is Sarvajna. So he is called knower because by his very presence he illumines Sarvam. So the notion of Sarvajna was superimposed upon Atma and is thought to be Sarvajna. But Sarvam Janati is called Sarvajna, one who knows everything, though one who knows is the Karta of act of knowing is called knower. The agent of the act of knowing is called knower. Like the agent of the act of driving is called driver. So even though Atma is called Sarvajna, is not na punaha sarvishaya jnana kartrutvena, not that he is knower in a primary sense, who is knower Knower is the agent of the act of knowing. Atma is called all knower without being the agent of the act of knowing everything, because like sun, Atma just shines, everything gets illumined. So just as sun gets the designation of illuminator, Atma gets the designation of all knower. Tatha tadvat, similarly. Maya nibandhanam eva atmana sarakritvam. So all krutvam, all kartrutvam belongs to Maya, all creatorship belongs to Maya. But because of the Maya superimposition, Atma is thought to be the creator of everything. All knowingness belongs to Maya, and the Atma is thought to be all knower. All creatorship belongs to Maya, Atma is taken to be all creator. So sarva kriya hetoho sindhi satta matrena brahmakvat sarva karaka pravritti hetutvat, because Atma is the sarva kriya hetu. Atma, who is asti bhati priyam, becomes hetu, becomes the cause of all the kriya, because no kriya will take place without Atma. But then maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Hetu nanene kaunte jagat parivartate. So jagat goes round and round. Simply what's the hetu? Maya adhyakshena. I am just the shining presence. That's all I am. Brahmakavata. Like a revolver, some machine that revolves. Brahmak also can mean a magnet, in presence of which things start moving, little iron filings. Brahmak also can mean a machine. So Brahman, Sarabhutani, Yantra, Rudhani, Maya, like a yantra. But battery is even the magnet, which by its very presence becomes the cause of the movement of the iron filings. Sannidhi sattamatrena. So you can say that the magnet is moving all these things, electricity is turning the motor, although all that is the electricity's presence. Sarakarga pravritti hetutvat. So Atma becomes the hetu, the cause of the pravritti, the activity of all the karaka. So karma, kriya, karta, karma, karana, these are the karakas. Only when they come into functioning that any action can take place. Atma, by the very presence, becomes instrumental in enlivening the karta, karma, karanam, and all of these start functioning. All that is in presence of Atma. But not knowing that all that makes these fellows act, they think that Atma makes them act. So question is, what makes who is this one hearing, seeing, keneshitam padati preshitam manaha, willed by whom? This mind performs its functions. So because the mind performs the functions and mind seems to be, made to go out and contact the object, it is taken for granted there is something that in fact orders the mind, commands the mind to do things. Because looking at the mind, it looks like it is commanded. Looking at the world, looks like it is created. And therefore we have to imagine a creator. So, sarva karaka pravritti hetutvat, because all the karakas, the karta, karma, karanam, all of these become active in the presence of self, there is consciousness. Without that, this would not be. And therefore, he is thought to be the karta, karma, karana, etc. Tadevam avasthatra sakshitaya vivikta shuddha chidrupasya atmana. Even in this manner, avasthatra sakshitaya, by way of being sakshi or the nirvikara sakshi, changeless witness of the three states, vivikta shuddha chidrupasya atmana. Because Atma is just Sakshi. Therefore, Vivikta, when the Viveka is done, with Avastha, the states of the mind, and the Sakshi, the illuminator, it becomes very clear that the Sakshi is the Vivikta, Shuddha, the separated Sakshi, Shuddha, Chidrupaha, ever pure consciousness, Atmana, Karikaratmakam, Karanatmakam, Maya Upadi Vashat, and all the Karya Karanatmaka, all the Karanam, cause and effect, all of this belongs to Karya Karana Karana, everything belongs to Maya. Maya Upadi Vashat. So all the things are done by the, like a minister does everything. In presence of king, for example, and then still the king has done something, they would say. So Maya is the minister that does everything. It creates, it has a means of creation, it has the cause of creation. All of these factors require for whatever vyavahara takes place, all those factors are present in Maya. None of these factors of vyavahara at the individual level or cosmic level is present in Atma. At the individual level or the cosmic level, the self is merely shining. So, Shuddha Chaitanya, and there is a taintless, pure awareness shining in its own glory. And Maya is the Vesha, the Upadi, the costume, where everything is there. But on account of not distinguish between the time, Atma is thought to be Sarvajna, Sarvakarta, etc. Therefore, Vyavaharaspradam, because of the superimposition of Maya upon the Atma, Atma is thought to be the omniscient, omnipotent, and so forth. The Svabhavataha, not by nature, Atma is knower or doer. Yuktam artham anudya. And so now again, reiterating what is stated earlier, that this is not the nature of Atma, that Atma looks like is omniscient, omnipotent, sarvakarta, sarvajnata. That's not the nature of Atma. All of those designations Atma gets because of the upadhi or costume of Maya. So that is said, Kim tas swabhavikam rupam. So we are confusing the pratibimba for bimba. And pratibimba, chidabhas, so seems to be doing all of this, and those things are superimposed on Atma. So kim tat swabhavikam bimba tulyam. Like the sun is the bimba or the image, so also Atma is image. And what is reflected is called the chidabhasa. So kim tat swabhavikam bimba tulyam Atma swarupam. Then what is the Atma swarupam? What's the essential nature of Atma? Like sun, swabhavikam, essential nature. Bimbatulyam, comparable to an image and reflection, image. Atma Swarup, what's the essential nature of Atma? Iti apeksham. So, when the Atma's vyavaharika Swarupam is described, individual level, karta, etc., cosmic level, the creator, etc. So, that is all vyavaharikam, aupadikam, swarupam. Or aupadikam, rupam, all of this is rupa of the Atma, because upadhi, what is his own nature without the upadhi? Nirupadikam. Iti apeksham, that question will arise. So that question answered in the next verse 29. Sopadeshaiva mahatmuktaha Nirupakhyo nupadhikaha Nishkalo nirguna shuddha Tammano vakchanam napnutaha. Now coming back to Shastra Acharya Upadesha. What is the Upadesha of Shastra and Acharya? Tam manovakchana apnutaha. Atma such as that, the mind and the speech cannot reach there, is beyond the reach. Na tattva chakshur gacchati, na vak gacchati, na manaha. That's what the Upanishad says, and that is what is stated here. Then what is the reason? Sopadeshayam atma uktaha. So when Atma is described as the karta, jnana karta, jnata at the individual level, sarvajna, sarvakarta at the cosmic level, supadi, that is the Atma with upadi that has been described. Who is, so that is description is possible for the Atma with upadi. Anupadika, but without the upadi. In his own nature, nirupakya, Atma is not available for any akhya or any definition. He is indescribable by his own nature. Description is all possible for Atma with Upadhi, because all descriptions are of Upadhi. Atma Nirupadika does not lend himself to any description. So how is Anupadika Atma? Nirgun, Nishkala, Nirguna, Shuddha. Tam Manaha, Vakshana Apnutaha. Atma that is such as that is beyond the reach of the mind and the words. So Tikakara suggests to Nirupakya Vishayataya Ullekha Yogya na bhavati. Upakya is a description. So Nirupakya, which is beyond description, indescribable. So what can we describe? Vishaya is what we can describe. We can describe that which becomes the object of our experience. That alone, the mind and the speech. The mind can only know through the organs of perception all that is the object, that is object or object awareness. Basically, what is Indriya Bhasyam, illumined by the sense organs, is what the mind knows. And that's what the speech describes. Speech can only describe that which is known by the mind, and mind can know that which is, objectified by the sense organs. But Vishayataya Ullekha Yogya na bhavati. Atma cannot be, is not fit to obtain as a Vishaya or as the object of sense organs or object of the mind or object of the speech. So Anupadika, because is Anupadika, it is beyond or is devoid of any Upadi or the limiting adjunct they call it, Upadi or the Vesha. In short, by true nature he is actor, devoid of any connection whatever with the costume. Because of costume he is called a king, he is called a beggar, he is called happy, unhappy. All these designations the actor gets because of the costume. Himself has no relation to the costume, and therefore all the words can only what we see the Atma actor with costume. So our perception is of an actor with costume. Our description also is an actor with, but the actor himself is not available. In this case, actor happens to be Atma, so is not available even for perception. Vishayata ullekh yogyo na bhavati sa anupadikaha sarva vyavahara atitaha. All vyavahara is done by the costume, by Maya, and the one illumining the Maya is sarva vyavahara atitaha. He transcends all the vyavahara. Is Shabda Prayoga. Transcends all the concepts or notions. So all concepts can be there for something that is experienced. Otherwise all speculation. So they say that, all philosophies are speculations. They call Vedanta also speculation. Vedanta is not speculation, but then anyway, so Ishvara is supposed to be in the heaven, it is always a matter of speculation. He is Sarva Vyavahara Atita, all right. He is beyond all Vyavahara. But fortunately he is closer than the closest. It's not beyond. It is his closer than the closer, my own self. Now this equation is not available anywhere except Vedanta. Guna, so nirguna, guna avay, niskala, niskala kala shunya, avay shunya, nirguna, guna shunya, devoid of gunas, devoid of the avayas, niskala, nirguna, therefore shuddha. It is kala or the parts avayavas that will make a thing an ashuddha, impurity, because it make it mortal. Anything that consists of the different components or parts, they are subject to disintegration, so that can be pure. Anything that possesses any attributes also is subject, the attributes will change, therefore one that possesses attributes cannot be pure, one that possesses the parts also cannot be pure. But Atma is devoid of parts, devoid of attributes, therefore tasma shuddha. Kutastha means changeless. Nirupakyatam uktam vyanakti. So, the first line is nirupakya, indescribable. Vyanakti, that now further explains here, defines what is nirupakyatvam, what is the state of being indescribable. Sistam manovaksha na apnutaha. That Atma, the mind as well as speech, does not reach them. न तत्व चक्षुर गच्छति etc. अनेजदेकम मनसो जवीय है नान्यदेवा आत्मन पूर्वमर्षत. So manas is faster than the mind, and the sense organ devatas could not reach it, could not overtake it, and therefore that's called nirupakya. And so that is here and will be explained. So manovag agamyatyam, why? He is agamya, beyond the reach of the mind as well as speech. So that is explained in the next verse, verse 30th. Chetano chetano vapi karta karta gato gatah baddho muktastatha chaikah अनेक शुद्धोन्यसेति वा. So these are the notions that obtain about Atma. I mean, these notions are possible for anything that is within the reach of the mind and speech, then the thing can be like this. Chetana, achetana, karta, akarta, gatah, agatah, baddha, muktah, ekah, anekah, shuddha, ashuddha. Atma is thought to be of this nature because people take Atma to be within the reach of the speech and the mind. Therefore, they describe Atma in this manner. It is true that whatever is within the reach of speech and mind will be described like this because this alone can become the object of the mind and therefore the speech. So, Tikaka explains, I am Artha. So, this is how is thought to be. Various ways. I am Artha. Why is Atma thought to be like this? Somebody says is sentient, somebody says insentient, somebody says Karta, the doer, somebody says Akarta, somebody says Gataha, all pervasive, not all limited, somebody says bound, somebody says free, somebody says one, somebody says many, somebody says pure, somebody says impure. What is the reason why this kind of various notions are entertained about Atma? Why do people think about themselves as Atma in this manner? So, I am Artha. Ahamiri shabda pratyaya utavat parag vyavrittataya atmanam pratyancham avagahete iti avivadam. Ahamiti shabda pratyaya. Shabda aham. The word I, every word creates a pratyaya. Every word also reveals its meaning in the mind, the pratyaya. So when the word aham is uttered or used, immediately the aham also creates a corresponding pratyaya or the notion. You can call it knowledge or in this case call it notion. But Shabda, so that means Aham Shabda and Aham Pratyaya. The word Aham is the concept Aham. Tavat Parag Vyavrittataya. So Aham is meant to exclude Idam. You see? Atvam. Yushmat Asmat Pratyaya. So the Asmat Pratyaya Aham is I, is used to exclude you. The reason why Atma is called I is to help us understand that whatever is not I is not Atma. Although people take it to be what I think I is, but the reason why the word I is used is to exclude what is not I. And therefore, Parag Vyavrittataya, by excluding whatever is external. Pratyancham avagahete iti. That way it is true that the word aham, the concept aham, by excluding whatever is outside aham, external to aham, by excluding them, they in fact are able to reveal the pratyagatma avagahete. Meaning they make the Atma, the Pratyagatma as the object, or reveal the Pratyagatma by excluding anything that is external other than Atma. Tau chet Suddhameva Atmanam Gocharetam. But if the word Aham and the concept of Aham, if they were had the reach to Pratyagatma, तदा प्रत्यक्ष उपलब्धे घटादयव वाद्यनाम विप्रतिपत्त्यभाव स्यात्. If the word aham and also the concept generated by the word aham, if they were able to reveal the Atma as Atma is, then Atma would become the object of immediate knowledge for us because we use the word I, just as Ghatapata we use the words and they make the object as an object of perception. So usually a word, the concept, so Ghata is a word and the object is a concept that is associated with the word. So a word is called Shabda, concept Pratyaya. So the concept Pratyaya, concept is always associated with the word. And usually, as far as the objective experience are concerned, the word and the concept reveal the objects. So that's called Pratyaksha. That is called the direct experience. They call it, sometimes we call it Pratyaksha, the Aparoksha, whatever it is, but then the word and the concept normally have the capability of enabling us to know the object directly. Thus, for Ghatapata, there are no disputes. The word Ghata creates the concept of Ghata, which corresponds to his object, and therefore there is no dispute about what Ghata is. If Atma, the word Aham did the same thing, word Aham also revealed the true nature of Atma, then there would have been no dispute about Atma also. Vadinam vipratipatyabhaya, then there would have been no debate about this, no dispute about this. Vipratipatti, all variety of conclusions are there about Atma that would not have been there if this were I and the concept generated by I revealed the Atma in its true nature. Vipratipadyante tute, however, the Vadis, the disputants have all kinds of contradictory ideas about Atma. Why? Because Atma does not become the object of the word I and the concept generated by I. Atma does not become the object. And therefore, like Ghatapata, Atma cannot become the object of knowledge, and therefore it is a matter of then, depends upon, you take it to be then, whatever you understand by Aham is what you take it to be the Atma. And therefore, various notions exist about Atma because this word Aham and Pratyayaham do not objectify the Atma. So word and the Pratyaya can objectify the gross objects. They cannot objectify Atma. But they don't know that. So whatever they think is objectified by Aham, word and the Pratyaya, is what they take it to be Atma. So Dehendriya Manobuddhinam Anyatamaha Achetanaha eva Chetanova. Somebody thinks Dehi is Atma, Manaha is Atma, Indriya is Atma, one of them is Atma, different from this Atma. So Deha Achetana or Chetana. Somebody thinks Deha is Chetana also. Na Atma iti Veda Bhashyaha. Atma iti should say, but na Atma iti. Anyway, so Veda Bhashyaha. Those who do not have the benefit of knowing what nature of Atma Vedas reveal, those who do not have benefit of that, they come to their own conclusions and claim Atma is Deha, Indriya, Manaha, Buddhi, etc. Chetana, Achetana. Tadanyah, Chetana iti Vedavadinah. Anyway, so Chetana na Atma. So they think Atma is Achetana. Vedanta says Vedavadinah. Those who are the followers of Veda, they said Atma is Chetana. Huh? Yeah, that is right. They had Mimamsaka, but na Atma iti Veda Bhashyaha. Okay, so na Atma iti Veda Bhashyaha. But that is not one of the things stated here. Chetano vapi. So Chetana and Achetana. These are two pakshas stated here. So either Deha is Anta, all the, the Dehavadina, Charvakas, Deha is Atma, Indriya is Atma, Mana is Atma, Buddhi is Atma. Whoever says that. But the Achetana is Atma, that's what, I don't know, Charvakas think that body is Chetana. So, who takes Atma as Achetana is like the Vaisheshika. They take Atma as Dravyam. And consciousness is thought to be the attribute of Atma, accidental attribute. When Atma comes in contact with the mind, that is when Atma becomes illumined or conscious. So by as Dravya, Atma is then conscious. So Achetana. Or Atma is conscious Chetana. So Chetana and Achetana both also, the Bhattas say that one part of Atma is Chetana and knows the other part of Atma is Achetana in the deep sleep, etc. So that is also the thought. Anya Chetana iti Vedavadina. Alright. Different from all of this. Meaning the different from the body, mind, sense complex is what the Vedavadinas say. Astityege, Nayam Astityege. Not different from the body is what they some say. Different from the body or Upadhi is another one. So Vedavadina say that when the body dies, Atma does not die. Atma is different from body. among Vedavadis also, so all Mimamsakas and all they are called Vedavadis because they supposedly accept Veda as a Pramana. Tishu Kechit Karta eti. So Mimamsakas Atma is Karta Bhokta. Akarta eti. Sankhya Atma is Bhokta but not Karta. Gataha, Vyapakaha, so Atma is Vibhu, all pervasive, so they some say, Avyapakaha, no Atma is confined to this body, Anu. So in the body also Atma, what's the dimension of Atma? Anu is like an atom. Keeps on moving in the body, so while seeing Atma is in the eyes, by hearing Atma is in the ears, etc. So these are the sorts, Vaishnavas talk it, Atma is Anu Parimana. So there is Anu Bhashya also on the Brahma Sutra. Deha Parimana, the Jainas say that Atma is of the size of the body and it keeps changing as the body changes. Iti Kechida. Doesn't matter who says what, but anyway, so all these different notions about Atma are entertained because they think that Aham reveals this. Baddho Jivaha Mukto Anya Ishvara. Some people say that Atma is Baddha, has to be liberated. Atma is different, is liberated, Ishvara. Tata sarva sharireshvu ekah, Atma is one in all the bodies. Vedanta says, Sankhya say, Anekah, no sorry, Atma Anekah. Atma, there are many. Sankhya say Atma is one. The Vedanta says. And of course, Vaisheshikas, Nayayikas, all of them accept the multiplicity of Atma. Shuddha, again, the Sankhya says Atma is so Nirvikara Chidrupa. Vedanta says Atma also is Nirvikara Shuddha. Ragadi Gunarahita, Anyatha, Tadyuktascha. The Vaisheshikas, Nayayikas think that Atma is possessed with Raga, Dvesha, etc. So all these different Vadis are there. You can call them disputants or you can call them, the various thinkers. Come to various conclusions. Actually, they should be all called Vedabahya. By Vedanta, we call them all Vedabahya. They take some Vakya of the Veda and then promote their theory. But the reason why all these kind of notions are entertained about the Atma shows that Atma is not the object of mind and thought and the word, otherwise this would not happen. So Ghatapata, which are the objects of the thought and the word, there is no dispute about them. If Aham, the word used for Atma is Aham. If Aham also similarly revealed what the word Ghata reveals in terms of object, there would be no dispute. The fact that disputes are there means that word Aham does not reveal the true nature of Atma. So it is not, it's beyond the thought and beyond the word. That's what is said here. Okay, we'll see. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.